The Raleigh Motor story, again, this is something that was kind of built out of a passion of what I was interested in at the time. And goes back to 2 years ago, and my daytime job is at Red Hat, and this pretty much consumes my life. I have 2 children, I have a great team, I do a lot of home improvement, and this is really, I would hope that this connects with most of you in this audience, right? You go to work every day, and there might be that little itch in the back of your mind that's like, God, I want to do something else, or something that I want to do for me. And that's kind of really where the whole Raleigh Motor thing came from. This is my wife. She is really the talent. She should be up here, not me. But she runs Hayden Designs, and she, for 8 years here in Raleigh, has been participating in crafts fairs. Her jewelry is in stores throughout Raleigh, and I've just been kind of like, oh God, her production assistant more or less, just helping her set up these things, but being immersed in kind of the handmade community here in Raleigh in the area. And I've just been able to kind of, again, immerse myself in the handmade community through her, through helping her out. And she's been very supportive, but after 9 years of Red Hat and crazy and raising 2 kids and renovating 2 houses, this is kind of how I ended up feeling. And I really just wanted to get back to a place where there was something that I was working on that was my own, right? So I did what any responsible 35-year-old father of 2 children would do, and I bought a motorcycle. So the motorcycle itself, it was a shitty motorcycle, and I knew that it was going to be a shitty motorcycle. I wanted it to be a shitty motorcycle. I wanted to work on it. I wanted to learn about it. It was something that I knew that I just kind of wanted to put away all the other stuff that was going on and just focus on that. Not that all that stuff was horrible. It's great. I love that stuff. But this is kind of, I wanted something else. So this was the first bike I bought. I found it in Chapel Hill. It was $600. It was all torn up. It didn't work. And I just dug in. And then about 2 weeks later, I'm still on Craigslist trying to find parts for it. And I bought another one. And my wife was pissed. So, you know, we got 2 kids. I'm the only working person in the house, so there's not a lot of money. But anyway, so I bought this bike, and I knew that I really wanted to dig in and kind of make at least one working bike out of the 2. At least I could justify that to my wife. So I'm lucky enough to have a basement here in North Carolina. My house is on a hill, so I was able to roll these things into my basement. And I was very meticulous about the process of categorizing the pieces and laying everything out and making sure that I wasn't screwing up. I mean, this is a motorcycle after all. I wanted it to be safe and reliable, and something that I could ride on a daily. So I started to immerse myself in what it would take to get these bikes fixed up. I started looking at parts dealers and really started to immerse myself in the vintage custom motorcycle community. And what I found out, maybe what I didn't really reference really well, was working with my wife was just kind of surrounded by all of these great artists here in Raleigh. Talent was just all throughout the community, whatever they were doing with these handmade goods and apparel. And so when I started to immerse myself in the vintage custom motorcycle community, I kind of realized the same thing. These guys are talented. They're creating some really cool stuff. I mean, this guy down on the bottom, Max Hazan, he was a boat builder, and now he's doing custom motorcycles. And so the kind of same ideals, the same passion that I was seeing in the handmade community that I was kind of exposed to, I was seeing in this vintage custom motorcycle community. And things started to kind of connect there. It was kind of a natural progression back and forth. And these guys, Prism Motorcycle out in North Carolina, they deserve a shout out. They did a great build, and they were on the Discovery Channel. It was pretty cool. So a year later, I ended up with this, right? One bike that I could ride to work every day, and I was pretty happy with that. But I also ended up with this, an empty frame. I had one shell of a bike that was left, and there was really nothing to it. And I knew that I kind of wanted to build my own bike, but I also knew damn well that I was not the guy to build a custom vintage bike at the level that these other guys and gals were doing. And so this is kind of where the whole idea came about. I started to really look at these two communities of builders, and can we bring these two communities together in some form or fashion? And so that's what I started doing. I started looking out at the, shit, really? Holy crap. Started looking at the custom, the makers in Raleigh, the people that I've been exposed to before, the leathersmiths, the furniture makers, things of that nature. Those are the folks I reached out to because I wanted to highlight the talent in Raleigh. So Derek Keller is a leathersmith here. He hand makes wallets and belt and has never done anything for motorcycles before, but I'm asking him to help us out. Evan Leitner, who is one of just extremely talented furniture maker. He's working, he does great inlay work, and just his furniture is beautiful, and I want wood to be a part of this bike, so I'm asking him to build pieces for it. And so that's a picture of him and I. Yeah, and the branding, I don't even need this clicker anymore. All right, so we dug in. This was the branding. Go! This is my basement. I turned it into a shop and a photo studio so I could document the build. My wife is thrilled about that. We built a booth and we're attending shows. I mean, this is really something. And side note, I started this with a fifth grade friend. That's really been the best part of this whole thing, is working with him. And then we have a video coming out. So our first spotlight video is a part of these collaborations. We're spotlighting all of these artists. So we'll be telling their stories and documenting their process, and along with that we'll be sharing like the build itself. So Derek Keller is going to be our first video. We're going to release that in about a month. This is the bike as it stands. We're actually using this as black walnut from the forests of North Carolina, and we're going to be using that on the tank itself. A lot of things that we haven't seen. We're trying to do things that are different, that haven't been done before. And we're trying to use local talent to get that done, to make sure that the bike is a reflection of the community and the artists that we have here. We're really excited about that. And we are hand-built, community-fueled. These are all the social things that we're on. If you guys did anything for me tonight, it would be to follow us on Instagram, and Facebook is where we do like kind of like some side stuff, but Instagram's really where we're telling the story. My buddy Sean, that I love dearly, he can't be here tonight, from the 5th grade, would just love it if you all liked our Instagram account tonight. Thank you.